Welcome to Ask the Staff, a podcast that allows students like you to submit questions or concerns you might have about the school or regarding school rules. I'm Chloe Sproul.
And I'm Louise Bennett. And here's our second episode of Ask the Staff. Thank you all for listening, and please enjoy.
Our first question submitted by you guys is, how do you feel about the desk shields that are to be used on desks, and do you require them?
We asked 3 teachers to find out the scoop about how teachers really feel.
Sarah Peterson has been working at the school district for 12 years. She really keeps it short, sweet, and to the point while also including the importance of masks and desk shields.
So I think that wearing masks in school or in the community is a minor inconvenience for a major cause. As far as the desk shields go, the elementary kids have to use them, and it's a permanent fixture on their desks. Again, a minor inconvenience for our high schoolers, but I think that if they have them, they're being supplied with them, it's free, they should use them.
I 100% agree with the point she is making here. I guess I sometimes forget that the desk shields at the elementary school are permanently on the desk because while my brother is in the elementary school, I don't put much consideration into it.
Yeah, I can understand her reasoning, although personally, I think the desk shields should be optional. But I think it is a good thing that teachers get the choice to decide whether they want to enforce desk shields or not, based upon how they feel about the COVID situation.
Denise Broskin has been teaching for 19 years, with 18 of those years being at our school district. She brings an interesting perspective because while many teachers have not been utilizing the desk shields, Broskin has been utilizing them in her classroom since the first day of school.
Okay, as far as the desk shields go, I do like them. I'm glad that we have them, and I have used them with my students. I've made them mandatory since the first day of school, and we've really just gotten into the habit of using them every day, and so now it's just sort of like part of the routine. I think it does make them more comfortable, and it does seem like they're okay with using them. Like it hasn't been an issue of defiance, like we don't want to use these. I explained to them about the possibility of the cases going up in the community over time, and that it was just one extra way to protect ourselves.
I like how she mentioned how her students have not been defiant in the fact that they have to use them. The first thing that comes to mind would be the incident with the locks on the lockers, with students not listening to the staff about having to use them, but with this, I'm glad to see students respecting their teachers on their decisions to use the desk shields.
I would have never thought of the connection between locks on lockers and this, but I agree. I really think it is awesome that the high school students and elementary students have been following instructions as well as they have. I'm honestly still surprised that more students don't try to fight teachers over masks and desk shields. It's just how teenagers are.
I think it's because we're all in this together.
We're all in this together, and it shows when we stand hand in hand, make our dreams come true. Everybody now.
Come on, Chloe, get your head in the game and stop using High School Musical references.
Philip Shenkle has been teaching at the school district for 17 years. In true economic teacher fashion, Shenkle gives a sort of cost and benefit analysis of desk shields, explaining the science behind them and how much they truly benefit students.
So my opinion about desk shields is, it's an interesting one. It's somewhat of a nuanced answer, I suppose, because I think with so many things in COVID, it's about comfort level. It's about being able to go about your job, and whether that job be working here at the school or whether it be as a student doing your work, and having that level of comfort. And so my thing is, if a teacher feels more comfortable and they feel like they're keeping their kids safer by using the desk shields, then I don't have a problem with that. Me personally, I do not enforce the desk shield. I feel like the kids have enough things to carry around and to keep track of, that the desk shields are sort of one extra thing that is just a little bit too cumbersome to carry around, especially when you look at the science. For the most part, my opinion on this, based on the science, is that the desk shield seems to be a bit of a feel-good measure. Makes me feel like I'm putting something up, that I'm doing something, and it is an extra layer. It's going to catch a sneeze, a cough. It's going to help in that. But when you look at the amount of help that it's going to be, I'm not sure that the help is worth the hassle, at least for me in my room. I have, all the kids are masking. The shields don't fit well on the desks. I feel like they have a hard time working inside of them without knocking them off, and I feel that the distraction that the desk shields would offer, with kids being late for class, knocking their desk shields off, other kids knocking other kids' desk shields down, that it just wasn't worth it for me to enforce it. And since the school gave us as classroom teachers the opportunity to enforce it or not enforce it, I looked at the science. I even polled a lot of my students to see how they felt, and I just felt like the best decision for my classroom, which is a discussion-based classroom, I felt like the best decision was to not enforce the desk shields.
I mean, he brings up some interesting points. I do agree that I think it should be up to the teachers on whether or not to use desk shields, because I know in my journalism class, there's only 6 students. So it would not make sense to me to use desk shields, especially whenever I spend most of my time looking behind me at the teacher. Shout out to Miss Good.
Yeah, I can definitely understand in that type of situation. If you can social distance, then in my opinion, well, I don't want to say it's pointless, but it kind of is.
I mean, yeah, it's pretty pointless. After all, kids are here 1 minute and gone the next to get quarantined, so I'd rather not see people through a plastic screen. Even with the desk shields, if you sit within 6 feet of someone who is showing symptoms or has it, you're still gonna need to quarantine.
I can agree with Mr. Shenkle's statement about how it is more of a feel-good measure. If it makes you feel comfortable, then use it.
The second question that got submitted is a question for me and Chloe, and it says, what do you typically like to do outside of school?
Usually when I get home from school, the first thing I do is watch Netflix. Watching TV and movies is one of my favorite things to do. It's effortless and enjoyable.
Yeah, I normally do something similar. I usually will get home, grab a snack, procrastinate by watching a little bit of TikTok.
Sure, Louise.
What does that mean?
A little TikTok?
Okay, maybe a tad more than a little. Then I do my homework while watching Dr. Phil, or Kitchen Nightmares, or Bar Rescue, or Live PD.
Sometimes I'll also go work for a little bit at my parents' business. Don't look at me like that, Louise. Stop it. Depending on what I did earlier that day, and if I need to finish anything or help my mom out.
I can't relate. I just go home and chill out, and sometimes decide to do my chores.
I also really enjoy hanging out with my friends.
Wait, Chloe,
What, Louise?
you have friends?
Anyway, that wraps up another episode. Thank you so much for listening in. Follow us on Snapchat at Ask the Staff. There you can submit questions to us directly to be featured on future episodes.
We are hoping to continue this podcast so listeners like you can ask questions that you think the school should know or need to know more about. Thank you for joining us, and catch us on another episode of Ask the Staff.